Brittney Griner picked the wrong fan base to mess with. For years, she's floated through the WNBA protected by a media force field, immune to backlash, controversy, or even basic accountability. But this time, she messed with Caitlin Clark, Indiana, and a governor who's not playing around.
She accused the Indiana Fever fan base of being racist. They investigated it. They said those accusations were false. The least that she could do is apologize to our great state. The fans weren't shouting racial slurs toward Angel Reese.
It started with yet another messy controversy. After a blowout loss to the Indiana Fever, accusations started flying. Claims that Fever fans shouted racial slurs at Angel Reese. No video, no audio, no proof. But somehow, the WNBA jumped straight into launch full investigation mode like they were the FBI. And here's where it gets real messy. The league spent actual time and resources investigating fans without a shred of evidence.
The league is also taking a big L because there's no apologies to any fans whatsoever on this totally BS statement released by the WNBA. Yeah, you found nothing. That's great. That's accurate. Guess who told you you would find nothing? The entire Indiana Fever fan base said you weren't going to find anything.
Meanwhile, a viral video showing Brittney Griner seemingly making a racially charged comment about Caitlin Clark, that got shoved under the rug so fast, you'd think the league was trying to hide a crime scene.
A foul that was called on Brittney Griner, and whether or not she said, white girl trash, or, effing white girls.
Here's where everything flipped upside down. Indiana Governor Mike Braun stepped in, publicly, loudly, and with facts. He slammed the WNBA, demanding to know why fake accusations got a spotlight while real footage, millions of views of Griner allegedly calling Clark a fucking white girl, didn't even get a whisper from the league.
Where is Caitlin Clark? Where is the Indiana Fever? Where is the WNBA saying that investigation there shouldn't have been an investigation? The allegations were false. Where's the apology? It hasn't happened. It's disappointing.
And to be clear, the league already admitted the accusations against Fever fans were false. Zero evidence. But where's the apology?
And we'll continue to be vigilant in enforcing our fan code of conduct. Where is the apology to your fans?
Where's the press release clearing the fan base's name? Exactly. Nowhere. But the story doesn't end with just a governor making noise. Because Braun didn't stop there. He publicly called out the WNBA's double standard and demanded they investigate Griner with the same energy they used against innocent fans.
But regardless of why Brittney Griner said what she said, or at whom she said it, I want to know, is the WNBA okay with one of its players saying fucking white girl on the bench and getting caught by TV cameras saying such? I guess they are. I guess they're okay with it. Obviously, the league would very much not be okay with a white player saying fucking black girl on the bench in anger and getting caught by TV cameras.
He even said Angel Reese should apologize. That alone sent shockwaves through the media. The WNBA's favoritism? It's not just obvious now, it's officially being called out by the people running the state. And Griner? She's panicking. You can see it in the silence. No statement, no apology, no clarification. Just total radio silence as the heat builds. This was the moment when the WNBA's protective bubble finally popped. The governor made it clear, Indiana's fans deserve respect. Caitlin Clark deserves protection. And Brittney Griner? She might finally be held accountable. Let's get one thing straight. This isn't just about basketball anymore. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's a full-on economic engine. She's packing arenas, crashing ESPN servers, and making the Indiana Fever more relevant than they've ever been in franchise history. And yet, somehow, she's still the most disrespected person in the league. You've got Angel Reese and Brittney Griner throwing shade left and right, the WNBA pretending not to hear, and then turning around to scold Clark's fans for showing up and cheering too hard. Seriously? And now, after the league admitted that the racist heckling claims against Fever fans were totally made up, there's still no apology. Not from Angel, not from the WNBA, not even from the Chicago Sky, who just sat back and let the accusations fly. But it gets even crazier once you follow the silence. That viral clip of Brittney Griner, you know, the one that people across social media say sounds like her calling Clark a fucking white girl, it's been played millions of times. Fans broke it down frame by frame.
But it is what it is. Then when she sits down on the bench, she said, "That's fucking trash. That's a fucking whack ass call." She did not say trash ass white girl.
Yeah, that is not call. That is not, she is not saying call, in my opinion, at all. That's effing white girl, all right?
Some even enhanced the audio like it was a true crime documentary. And the WNBA, completely silent. No clarification, no comment, no press conference. They didn't even bother with the classic taken out of context routine. Why? Because the league knows that once they open that door, they have to deal with everything, including the double standard that has protected Griner for years. It's the type of silence that screams guilt. Meanwhile, Governor Braun is over here doing the job the league refuses to. He's standing up for Indiana's fan base, reminding the country that just because you wear a jersey doesn't mean you're above accountability. And he's not the only one. Senator Jim Banks already demanded a formal apology to Fever fans. And now Braun is pushing the league to investigate Griner with the same fire they used to chase ghosts in the crowd. This isn't political noise. This is state leadership drawing a line. They're saying if you're going to make baseless accusations, you'd better be ready to back them up.
As someone who is, my daughters are fans of the team. They've gone to games to see Caitlin Clark. It's so demeaning to our state and to the fan base to go through something like that. The least they can do is apologize to the fans.
And if there's real footage of a player crossing the line, you'd better not pretend you're blind. Now the pressure's boiling, and the WNBA's silence is a story all by itself. It's almost like the WNBA forgot who pays the bills. You know who's selling out arenas in back-to-back cities? Caitlin Clark. You know who's breaking attendance records for the league? Caitlin Clark. And yet, she's treated like a side character, while players like Griner get the superhero edit, even when they're the ones lighting the match. And it's not just fans noticing. Local businesses in Indiana are booming thanks to Clark. Hotels, restaurants, even merch stands are seeing the kind of money that usually shows up when LeBron James comes to town. This isn't just hype, it's economics. So when Griner's camp claims her words were taken out of context, the question is simple. Then why not say that? Why not post a tweet, drop a statement, or here's a thought, apologize?
If that was a white player who said the opposite things about a black player, the usual suspects would have their 10,000 word think pieces and smear campaigns ready to go.
If Caitlin Clark's on camera mouthing the words black girl, it doesn't matter in what context she'd get strung up.
That's when things stop adding up. Because this isn't the first time the league played favorites. Remember when Draymond Green spoke up about the NBA's double standards in media coverage and sponsorships? Everyone listened. But when Clark gets blindsided or cheap-shotted, suddenly it's part of the game. Let's be real. If roles were reversed, if Clark had said something remotely similar about Griner, the WNBA would have had a suspension ready before breakfast. ESPN would have run a 5-day special. It would have been trending before tip-off. Instead, we get crickets. That's the kind of inconsistency that blows the lid off everything. Now, even WNBA veterans are getting uncomfortable. Some of them have built careers fighting for equality and fairness. But how do you defend a league that turns a blind eye when one of its stars might have crossed the line on camera? Governor Braun asked that same question.
He's absolutely right, because it is not the first time. Every time Caitlin Clark and her band of clowns come to Indianapolis, they get their ass beat. Or excuse me, Angel Reese and her band of clowns come to Indianapolis, they get their ass beat. And they leave and they say it's dangerous. People are bullying and whatever else.
And made it clear that favoritism isn't going to fly in Indiana. Not when the fans are being dragged through the mud. Not when the state's biggest basketball draw is being disrespected. And not when there's evidence sitting right there waiting to be addressed. He even said, quote, "The least she could do is apologize to our great state and fans." Not to mention the fact that Caitlin Clark's silence in this situation speaks volumes. She hasn't weaponized it, hasn't cried for sympathy. She just keeps playing and packing arenas. That quiet strength is the exact opposite of the league's loud double standards. And now the question is, how much longer can the WNBA ignore it before the entire system starts to crack? Now let's talk about the actual footage, the viral clip that kicked this all into overdrive. In the video, Brittney Griner is seen mouthing something during a heated moment, and millions of viewers swear she said, "Fing white girl," while referring to Caitlin Clark.
Brittney Griner is playing a game, and this is what Brittney Griner calls. I was not going to comment on any of this stuff until this took place. Watch what she says. The entire internet has reacted to this. Here's Brittney Griner. They're playing against the Indiana Fever, and look what she's saying. Go ahead, Rob.
Or the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier.
Others claim she was yelling about a bad ref call and said, "Fing whack call." Okay, so which is it? Because if it's the second one, it's real simple. Say so. Release a statement, clarify it, end of story. But that hasn't happened. Not from Griner, not from the Atlanta Dream, not even a whisper from the WNBA itself. They've done everything short of putting their fingers in their ears and humming loudly. This level of silence doesn't look like caution, it looks like guilt. And when you zoom out, this isn't even about one comment anymore. It's about how the league reacts depending on who says something. Because when Caitlin Clark's fans were accused, falsely, of racism, the league launched a full-scale investigation, press releases, PR statements, everything short of FBI agents in the bleachers. But when a league veteran like Griner is accused on camera, nothing. It's like the Zapruder film of WNBA scandals, and they pretend it doesn't exist. Let's put it in NBA terms. If Ja Morant was caught saying something similar about Luka Doncic, you'd have every sports outlet in meltdown mode. There'd be debates on ESPN, players tweeting from burner accounts, and Morant would be doing a full apology tour by noon. The double standard isn't just obvious, it's in neon lights with arrows pointing to it. And yet here we are, with Griner getting a silent pass and Clark supporters being treated like the problem. That's not just lazy management, it's dangerous messaging. Because now, Governor Braun's call for equal treatment has real weight. He's not just asking for fairness, he's demanding it, publicly, loudly, and with the backing of millions of fans who are tired of the league pretending not to see what's happening right in front of them. And when you're dealing with a player as impactful as Caitlin Clark, this kind of nonsense isn't going to fly forever. She's brought in more revenue, more eyes, and more excitement than any player in WNBA history, and yet the league continues to act like defending her is optional. At some point, they're going to have to choose: protect the old system or evolve before it collapses. The WNBA thought this would blow over, but they forgot one thing. Real accountability doesn't go away when you ignore it, it multiplies. And now, thanks to Governor Braun, the pressure isn't just coming from fans, it's coming from the top. He didn't just criticize the WNBA's silence, he questioned the league's entire investigative process. Because let's be real, how can anyone trust a system that rushes to condemn innocent fans while tiptoeing around Brittney Griner just because she's part of the league's protected class? It's not about silencing Griner, it's about consistency. And if you're enjoying this content and would like to see more and support the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.